Good morning, Jack Frost, BBN. Um, I'm going to discuss the mostly the NBA playoffs. Um, but I want to explain the long hiatus that Morning Coffee has had. It has been based on I don't have no way around where I work at to film. You understand? I don't want to be outside. It's New York City, way too much noise, and then people like running past you and saying weird shit. So I don't really want to film outside. So I need to find somewhere nice, quiet, a nice locale. The only place that I have around here is the Starbucks. After the situation happened with those other gentlemen from Philadelphia, I think that was more of a Philadelphia situation than the Starbucks situation, in my opinion. I had decided I was going to kind of boycott Starbucks for a while also, but I liked what the company personally did. They said, look, we're going to send people to training, and they closed down some of their stores and they did a couple of things. And so that's all you could really ask. You can't, when somebody messes up or make a mistake, you can't decide that you're never going to forgive them. You understand what I'm saying? Although, whatever I think that whoever the individuals were, they should have been fired also. But that's on me. Anyway, we're gonna get to the NBA playoffs and my opinion about what's going on and what's happening. So this is what I try to tell people all the time whenever I'm talking about the playoffs in the NBA or the playoffs and just sports in general. The playoffs is kind of scripted. You have to understand this. There's a collective bargaining agreement in place. So that means that it's in the league's, every individual team's best interest to have the best finals that they could have, because that's where they're going to get a lot of the money. This is the best way I could explain this. The Super Bowl is selling spots, commercial spots, for millions of dollars for like seconds. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to understand that it's in the NBA's best interest to have a good finals. And so what are some of the best, so what you got to do during the course of a season is you have to have storylines. Now, how those storylines connect is going to be how the playoffs is going to go. Okay? So we saw the first two games between Boston and the Cavaliers, right? First game, Boston destroyed the Cavaliers. Second game, the Cavaliers were actually winning for a good large portion of the game in the beginning of the game. Now, I played a little bit of basketball under the whistle myself. So anybody that has and was watching the game unbiasedly will notice how in the beginning of the game, the Cavaliers were getting all the 50-50 calls. You understand what I'm saying? A 50-50 call is basically a situation where something happens and the ref could say it's one team or the other, and he wouldn't necessarily be wrong because it happened too quickly for him to be able to discern who was the actual culprit of the foul or who actually knocked the ball out of bounds or whatever the case might be. It just happened too quickly, and since you can't review everything, mistakes are going to be made. It's just what it is. So in the beginning of the Boston Cavs game 2, the Cavs were getting all of the 50-50, well, a majority of the 50-50 calls, not all of them, a majority of the 50-50 calls. What this did was this allowed for the Cavs to be winning. Also, LeBron James was playing out of his mind. So you also have to understand, when you have a player playing out of his mind, great. And on top of that, you're also giving that player's team a majority of the 50-50 calls. It's just going to be a situation where that team is going to be up. That's just what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. That's how it goes. So now, let's get to game 3. The NBA, it's not in the NBA's best interest to ever have a LeBron James get swept in a playoff game. It's just not in that team's best interest. I remember seeing a interview of a referee. He refereed. He's just retired. He recently retired, and he used to referee in the in the 80s, and he refereed a lot of Lakers games. And he said that in the playoffs, whenever they were 50-50 calls, or whenever he had the opportunity to give the game to make a call for the Lakers, he would make a call for the Lakers because it was in the NBA's best interest for the Lakers to win because the Lakers had so many fans. This is the same situation with the Cavs. But the problem is the Cleveland Cavaliers just do not have the players to beat a Boston. The Cleveland Cavaliers just do not have the players to upset a Golden State Warriors. The Cleveland Cavaliers, I don't even believe they have the players to beat a Houston Rockets team. This Houston Rockets team is really, really good. The only problem this Houston Rockets team actually has is that they don't know how to play defense. That's it. That's really their only issue and their only problem, and that's a coaching issue. Everybody always says, I don't want to get sidetracked off of what I'm talking about with the Cavs in Boston, but you have to understand, a good coach, you don't have to have the best defensive players. You don't. All you have to do is have good schemes. If you have a good scheme, you can make things happen. The best proof I could give that is of Boston. Boston doesn't have the best offensive players. Freaking the Cavs probably got 3 offensive players better than every offensive player that Boston has available right now. And LeBron James, Kevin Love, and streaky ass, what's his dude name? J.R. Smith. They're probably, all 3 of those guys are probably all better offensive players than everybody that's available currently on the Boston team. The difference is that Boston Celtics has such a better strategy, has such the coaching is so much better on the offensive end of the ball and defensive end of the ball. Don't get it confused. But the coaching is so much better on the offensive end of the board. That's what's happening is that they're just being more proficient. They're being more successful. That's it. That's all. So I don't think the Cleveland Cavaliers should win another game. Do not get this confused. I don't think that they should win another game. I don't think they should have won the last game. I just know that the NBA is not going to allow LeBron James to get swept. It just isn't going to happen. You know how everybody is talking about how who's keeping this LeBron James, Michael Jordan debate alive? It's the NBA. They're keeping the LeBron James, Michael Jordan thing alive. They're encouraging SportsCenter and all of these other news outlets, sports news outlets, to compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan. There is really no comparison. There really is no comparison. There is no comparison. LeBron James is not on the same level as Michael Jordan for numerous different reasons. LeBron James played in Michael Jordan played in a much more violent league. When Michael Jordan played, the league was violent. I'm not saying necessarily that the players were better. I'm saying that the league was violent in the 90s. The league was violent in the 80s. You go to the lane trying to get a dunk, you might get hurt. The league was just violent. It was a different game. If LeBron James got shouldered in the neck or in the head or something like that in one of those games, he didn't play the same the rest of the game. Look, Jordan played during a time where he got hit like that 3-4 times every single game and still put up the numbers he put up. So it's really not a comparison. And for everybody that's talking about who scored the most 40-point games, LeBron James played a lot more playoffs games than Michael Jordan. You also have to understand that. And when Michael Jordan came into the league, first round was the best out of 5. I mean, that alone gives LeBron James more playoff games than Michael Jordan. Besides the fact that LeBron James is actually currently playing more seasons than Michael Jordan played. And then Michael Jordan took 2 years off in the prime of his... So it's not really a comparison. People need to stop trying to take away from LeBron James's greatness. LeBron James is great. I'm not a big LeBron fan, but he's great. He's just... To compare him to Michael Jordan is just wrong. And I know this is about to be blasphemy, but I don't think LeBron James is better than Larry Bird. I don't think LeBron James is better than Magic Johnson. That's just my opinion. He's more athletic than both of those guys. He's stronger than both of those guys. He has a really high basketball IQ. But you go watch some Magic Johnson and some Larry Bird highlights. You go watch an actual game. Don't even watch the highlights only. Go watch an actual Larry Bird game. Larry Bird was the truth. Larry Bird is quite arguably one of the 4 to 5 best basketball players to ever walk the face of this earth. He was the truth. So I'm not trying to discredit LeBron James, but remember, I got proof. Y'all can go back to videos I made last season when Kyrie Irving was still on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I said Kyrie Irving was going to ask for a trade. What did Kyrie Irving do? Kyrie Irving asked for a trade. I told y'all that LeBron James isn't going to re-sign because LeBron James could have re-signed. I said he's not going to re-sign. LeBron James has not re-signed. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think I know what I'm talking about a little bit. You know, I was wrong about a couple of things, but I did make a great point when I said that it would be in Kevin Durant. I also said it would be in Kevin Durant's best interest to come to the East. But that's because I didn't think he would sign with the Golden State Warriors. If I would have even thought him signing with the Golden State Warriors was an option, I would have said he's going to sign with the Golden. I didn't think that was an option. I didn't think you signed with the team that kicked you out the playoffs in the freaking conference finals. I didn't think that you did that. So other than doing what he did, his best interest would have been coming east. You know, I've been wrong about a couple of things, but I've been right about more things than I've been wrong about. Anyway, I'm just going to get on to Houston. What time is it? I'm going to get on. I explained that basically I think that the Cavs are going to lose. The Cavs are going to lose. Boston is going to beat them. Boston's the better team. Boston is being coached better. That's the most important thing. Boston is being coached better. Boston's the better team. Cavs have the better player, obviously, and they have the two best players in the series is on the Cavs, Kevin Love and LeBron James. Those are the two best players in the series, and they're both on the Cavs. So they're still gonna lose though. And I like Kevin Love. I like Kevin Love a lot. He's just the big issue is that Kevin Love is a defensive liability. So as efficiently proficient as Kevin Love is on the defensive end of the floor, he's just a liability. He has slow feet. So if they switch him off onto anyone that has penetration abilities, it's going to be a problem, including bigs. It's not that he doesn't rebound well, because he's really strong, so he rebounds well, but he's not good at the point of defense. So if you get the ball and you're down low and you're about his same size or you're a big of any kind, you're going to be able to get the ball up and over him, and you're going to get a good shot at the basket. He's not good. He's just not good on defense. It just is what it is. If you score 20 points and the guy you're guarding scored 20 points, it's like, what are you really doing? Especially when you're the second best player on the team. You know, you got to score 20 and the guy that you guarding got to score like 5. You understand what I'm saying? 6, 7, 10. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? There has to be a difference. You understand what I'm saying? With Kevin Love, there's no difference because of his inability to play defense. He just can't play defense. J.R. Smith, his attention span is too short. J.R. Smith, he might be a better player if they get him on some ADHD drugs. Seriously, he has attention span issue. When he wants, he's going to play outstanding defense. He's going to be crisp on offense. He's going to be right. But he has, I don't know if it's a lack of confidence or, you know, whatever the issue might be, but he has something going on with him where if he's not constantly being, you know, if he doesn't do good play after good play, he's going to go into a slump. You understand what I'm saying? And he's going to shoot bad, and he's going to take bad shots, and he's not going to guard his man, and that's just, you know, J.R. Smith. That's what he does. You add that to the fact that they only had one game where their point guard had a good offensive game. They was at one point their backcourt was being outscored by the other team's backcourt like 30 points a game. You're not gonna win that way. It just isn't gonna happen. So the Cavaliers is gonna lose the series. I mean, they might go 6, but I expect that the Cavaliers are gonna lose the next 2 games. They might go 6 though. Who knows? Now Houston, Golden State. Golden State just had a really bad game. And like I said, it's in the NBA's best interest for there to go as many games as possible because it's a collective bargaining agreement. Whereas the more money the league make, the more money individual teams make, even if your team is trash. even if your team didn't make the playoffs, even if your team is the first pick in the lottery. It's just that's the way it is. So I was gonna make a joke. I think this white lady's trying to call the cops on me, but that shit's really happening out here. Anyway, so I believe the problem that Houston currently has. I don't know what that means. Oh, she looking at her daughter. I don't know. I believe the problem that Houston currently has, and why Houston will not beat Golden State, besides the fact Golden State's just a better team. They're the super team that ever super team. All right, facts. And the reason why I say that is because when the Lakers had a super team in the '80s, and when the Boston Celtics had a super team in the '80s, they both had super teams at that time. In '83, I believe the Lakers lost to. Did the Lakers lose 76ers in '83? I forgot who lost to the 76ers. I think it was the Lakers. But super teams everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? In the '80s, there was a lot of super teams because the salary cap was different, and because you didn't pay one player disproportionately so much more than another player that you couldn't have numerous good players on the same team. So Golden State, they're gonna obviously win. They just play together. They're a really well coached team. They like playing together. I can't stress how important it is to like playing with the people that you're on the same team with. It just makes the game so much easier. It makes the game so much more fun. It keeps you emotionally connected. You understand what I'm saying? It's like you want to have an emotional. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. Personal shit. So recently there was some female that I wasn't really dealing with, but you know what I'm saying? It was like whatever. But there was no emotional connection. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not like a regular dude that I just want to just smash or whatever the case is. I don't really care for that. You understand what I'm saying? But because I need there to be some kind of emotional connection. I need for us to be able to connect on a higher level. You understand what I'm saying? Because I grew up in sports. That's what I attribute it to. I grew up in sports. I grew up in, teamwork. We got to work together. We got to get along. You understand what I'm saying? And it's the same way in sports. There has to be an emotional connection. Now, I had to let homegirl go. But I had to do it in a way that it didn't, because she's kind of crazy. So I had to do it in a way to make her think it was her idea. Because I don't want weird stuff happening to me. I've had I don't even want to get into it. But so I had to make her think it was her idea. You understand what I'm saying? But in reality, I was trying to slither away for the longest. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, the Houston Rockets, they like playing together. Golden State Warriors, they love playing together. But the main issue once again is coaching. In Houston, they don't have any kind of defensive scheme. Their defensive scheme sucks. Houston's defensive scheme, they don't even have one. You see, this is the problem when you have a team that the majority of their offense is created through one-on-one play. That creates a mindset of everybody's out for themselves. That creates a mindset of, I'm going to do this on my own. So now on the defensive end of the board, when you get stuck out on an island with somebody that you can't guard, the help isn't coming. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's not how you practice. You're going to play how you practice. You understand what I'm saying? If you practice teamwork, that's what's going to happen when you get on the court. If you practice you on your own, that's what's going to happen when you get on the court. And you could tell that's another reason why I don't think OKC does very well, and why I think that Carmelo Anthony, as much as I love Carmelo Anthony, that's another reason why I think that Carmelo Anthony teams sometimes have problems, because of the way that they practice. So you have Golden State Warriors, and they play together. They love playing together. They pick each other up. Then you have the Houston Rockets. Did anybody else see the little exchange that happened between Harden and Chris Paul? You understand what I'm saying? Everybody thinks competition amongst each other, amongst the team, is a good thing. I think that healthy competition is a good thing. You understand what I'm saying? There's a difference between just having random competition and having healthy competition. Like healthy competition between siblings, that's a good thing. You understand what I'm saying? But when you just have random crazy competition, that's not a good thing. You understand what I'm saying? Because we still are a unit. We still have to work together. We still have to love one another. You understand what I'm saying? So random crazy competition where everybody is just trying to outdo the other for the sake of showing that they're better instead of trying to push the other to be great, there's a difference. You understand what I'm saying? And in Golden State, they try to push each other to be great. You understand what they try to push their teammate to be great. While Houston, it just doesn't seem that way to me. Cleveland Cavaliers, it just doesn't seem that way to me. It seems like their competition revolves more around, I want to let you, I'm going to show you that I'm better than you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's not healthy competition. When I was a teenager, I used to play, when I was a kid, I used to play in the Pop Warner League. I was young. That's a football league. Equipment and everything, right? So, my first coach is kind of a douchebag. And he didn't force the healthy competition. So since he didn't force the healthy competition, we played good as shit in the practices. We were good. We played really well. But when it came time to get onto the field and play against other teams, our quarterback that was dropping dimes like crazy, that was hitting people with pinpoint accuracy, I think that's the manager. She just called somebody back like, "What are you doing? Get back to work." That was dope. Anyway, so our quarterback that was hitting people with pinpoint, see, he wasn't doing that during the game. Our running backs that were trucking people that were bigger than them, they wasn't doing that during the games. Our offensive line that was holding blocks, they wasn't doing that during the game. Why? Because to them, it was more important to play well or to outplay their own teammates during practice than it was to create good habits that would translate when we're in actual competition. And this is what I think the problem is when you come to a Houston Rockets team. And I think this is also the issue that might surface when you come with Carmelo Anthony teams. Because whenever you have a great offensive player, like a guy that could just take the ball and do whatever he want, whenever he want to do it, certain problems just arise. You have to, if that player isn't ready to acquiesce to such a degree to allow other people to be great with them. And I'm going to be honest with you. For everybody that want to dog Carmelo Anthony, don't forget, he dragged the Denver Nuggets to the playoffs every single year. Dragged them into the playoffs by himself. So this is not a knock on Carmelo Anthony. This is just we have to be mindful of what we're actually watching. Houston does not have a chance to beat the Golden State Warriors. The Cleveland Cavaliers do not have a chance on beating Boston. It's not going to happen. But it's in the NBA's best interest to make it look like it's possible. Right now, the NBA has a big problem. And the big problem with the NBA is there's no parity. You see, in the NFL, there's parity. There's any year, a team can get one or two players or lose one or two players and change their win-loss, their win-loss for that year, 5-6 games. 4 or 5 games, 3-4 games. You understand what I'm saying? That's a big deal when you only got 16 games. In the NBA, it just doesn't work that way. There's no parity. There's Golden State Warriors. Let's talk about the teams out west for 1 second. There's Golden State Warriors. There's Houston. They used to be the Clippers. They're not that good no more for obvious reasons. San Antonio Spurs. But we see how they look when they lose Kawhi Leonard. I don't know. Like, that's really it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's really it. You want to say, good morning, Chantel. Yes, I will be doing morning coffee for the foreseeable future. In the beginning of the video, I explained why I'm going to be bringing it back and everything. So if you want to see exactly, bless you, if you want to see exactly why morning coffee is coming back, I explained why it was gone, why it's coming back. This is just basically NBA talk today. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been going through like a weird weekend. Like, my personal life for like the last 2 weeks has been ridiculous, and the next female I meet, I need her to be normal. Okay, not normal like regular, like boring normal, but like not crazy, not just a crazy I can handle. Like, I want to be a crazy she can handle. You feel me? 'Cause anyway, that's a whole nother story. So, I got this one barista that work here that's fine as shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. So, I get it. Oh, and I just opened up a Facebook page for the channel, and I'm going to, I already got somebody to moderate it, somebody in our community. They're going to help me moderate it. And it's already up, and I should speak with the person today, hand them over all the contact information. And from now on, the videos that will be made, it will have the Facebook information in the description. And it'll just be great if y'all guys could go share some of the videos, old videos, new videos, whatever videos. You know what I'm saying? Help me get my name out there a little, help us get our name out there a little. I really appreciate it. Also, another thing that we will be doing is, I did a Fortnite thing over the weekend, and it seems like some of y'all like the Fortnite streaming thing that I did. So I will be bringing Fortnite to the channel. I'm not sure if it's gonna be on, I'm not sure which day it's gonna be, but it most likely will be about 2 days out the week at the most. And I'm gonna bring Fortnite to the channel where we can stream, talk shit, see, y'all can see the gameplay. Y'all can hear my homeboys, they're all crazy. Don't worry, the camera's on the other side, my brother. Where you can see my homeboys or whatever. And if that works out well, then next year, I'm going to be bringing NBA 2K18. Wait, what is it? 18 this year? Is it 17 this year? Whichever one is it. When the new NBA 2K drops, I'll be bringing that to the channel also, so y'all can see the development. You understand what I'm saying? And everything that's new. And also, this summer, I've been talking to the I don't know what to call them, people in my neighborhood. I'm not dry snitching, so I'm gonna keep it at that. But we're starting a youth summer league basketball thing. So as everybody's seen last year, I did a little bit of that because I just wanted to, see how it was gonna go. So this year we're gonna also be doing a youth summer league tournament on this channel where we're trying to get that together now. Matter of fact, this week I'm buying some drones because we're gonna try to shoot it in a different manner than it's currently being shot. So this week I should be picking up some drones, and I'm gonna have a couple of dry runs with a couple of things, and we're gonna see how it works out. So if everybody could just show up, give y'all input about the things that y'all like, the things that y'all don't like about, especially the basketball summer league thing that I'm gonna be doing. I really appreciate it. If anybody wants to donate, y'all know where y'all can donate at, through the PayPal or through the Super Chat. But first, I want to make sure that I get everything up and running. So if this is something that y'all interested in helping me do not donate yet. Give me a minute to start getting everything up and running and going, and then we'll see where that works. But once again, I got the Facebook channel. I got the Facebook page up. I have this channel. I also have Twitch. So if anybody want to see like other things that I'm doing online, I also have a Twitch channel. So y'all could go check that out also. Anyway, I'm late. But they know where I'm at because I've been on time like for the last every day I don't do this shit, I'm on time. So they know where I'm at, so it's not a problem. But I'm late, so I gotta go. But everybody, please, we gotta learn how to treat each other better. I keep seeing people randomly calling police on black people. The shit is crazy. But also we have to understand we can't give them what they want. Don't, you know what I'm saying? It's not all people that's doing this. Obviously, it's a certain number of people. And for everybody that don't know this, that's been happening for years. It's just now we have an awareness that it's happening, but it's been happening for years. I've been in numerous. I was just in one of the last times I was here at this Starbucks, minding my business. Some guy took my cup, moved my cup. I asked him, did he do it? And then he was like, call the cops on me. Like, it was crazy. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so you just have certain individuals that they have mental health issues. You understand what I'm saying? So don't define people by their skin color. Don't define people by what language they speak. You understand what I'm saying? Define people by what they show you. Some people have mental health issues out here, y'all. There's more undiagnosed mental health issues in America than there is diagnosed mental health issues in America. And believe me, I am absolutely a person that can tell you this and be talking the truth. I'm not just some random person. This is stuff that I do research on, and it's part of what I do for a living. So there's definitely so keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? When somebody's acting crazy, don't act crazy with them. When somebody's doing too much, don't do too much with them. You understand what I'm saying? Let them do too much by themselves. Remember, when you arguing with a crazy person from a distance, you both look crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you just gotta let people do whatever nonsense that they're doing. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't control somebody else's actions, but you can control yours. And even getting upset at somebody else's foolishness can make you look like you're a party to the craziness. So sometimes when people start just doing weird stuff, you gotta just let them do their weird stuff. You gotta keep your head, and you gotta just understand, this is just a situation that we might just have to let play out. If you could get away from the situation, do that, But you can't always get away. Like those gentlemen that was barbecuing. You can't always get away. You understand? Sometimes the situation follows you. I'm just saying, everybody, be safe, be careful. This goes for white people too. I'm not just talking to people of color. I'm talking to everybody. You know what I'm saying? White people also. When you come across somebody that's just irrational and they're just gonna create a problem, do your best to not become part of the problem that they're creating. Real quick story before I leave. So I was playing spades the other day. So while I'm playing spades, I'm playing against somebody who I know cheats. Okay, I know her. I know she cheats. She tries to convince me one day and tell me her secrets to cheating. I don't cheat, so I don't pay her no attention. So, because she wants to be my partner, because I win a lot. So, all right, my fault. Let me swipe for some reason. Every time something pop up, I try to swipe. It's doing something else. So, she's playing with somebody, and I'm playing with my partner, and we playing. And so she looked away from the board, and her partner threw down a queen. And then when she turned back around, she didn't know what to do. And her partner was like, yeah, that queen is boss. That queen is boss. So I say to him, I'm like, yo, you can't talk across the board. She immediately tries to turn that into an argument with me. Yo, it's just a game. It doesn't matter. There's rules. You understand what I'm saying? So then this individual tried to yell and scream at me and tried to make it seem like I was yelling and screaming at them. But what did I do? I just kept my composure. Because that's all you could do with people sometimes. You can't meet their level of aggression all the time. You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes if you do, then you're in the wrong. Sometimes you have to allow other people to see how the other person is in the wrong. Because nobody's going to help somebody if they think that you're the aggressor, or if they know who actually started the mess. So she was just yelling and screaming, talking about I was yelling and screaming. I wasn't yelling and screaming. Even after the fact, everybody came up to me and was like, they liked the way I handled the situation. But at the end of the day, I'm a man. What could I say to some woman that's going crazy? I can't even offer to fight them. I'm a man. All I could do All I could do is just accept it or leave. Like those are that's why it's so unfair. You understand what I'm saying? Like I got a sister and all that. Don't get me confused, but you know what I'm saying? Like when a female is in public and they're just abusing you, all you can even do is accept it or leave. If other people aren't going to speak up and help to squash the issue. Fortunate for me, there was some females around that do have love for me, and they came over and told her about herself to help calm the issue down. Because what could I say? I'm a man. If I say anything at all to defend myself, then it's going to sound like I'm attacking her. And once it sounds like I'm attacking her, then I'm a man who hits women. It's like, it's crazy. Like, this world that we live in is crazy. So anyway, she was trying to get into an argument with me anyway. It's a whole nother personal issue. I'm not attracted. So it is what it is. Anyway, everybody, I love y'all. Hug y'all kids for me. That's all I got on this one. I'm out.